So I've been sick and cooped up for the past couple days, so when I looked outside and saw that beautiful blue sky and that shining sun, I knew what I was gonna do today. With my newfound motivation and surprising amount of dexterity, and not forgetting my stuff, I ventured into the out. So there's a really pretty river path near my place I decided to go hiking on. There she is. Hi, river. I came across these three paths. I wasn't sure which one to choose, so I chose a random one. Came across this plains biome. Literally feels like Minecraft, hello. Kept walking, took some cinematic shots, as you do. Got a little lost in this part that literally looked like it was out of Lord of the Rings, but no fear because I found it, the river. It was such a beautiful day today, and it felt so good to stretch my legs after being inside. Yes, good job, Angel, you found it. Hi. So this part was supposed to be at the river, but obviously we're not at the river.
My genius is... it's almost frightening.
So today we're gonna be chatting in the bathtub. You know, there's water, so it's basically the river.
Einstein had a 160 IQ, mine's 197.
If I had any mental breakdowns or any big feelings to process, the bathtub was my go-to safe space. I wanted to do like a mental check-in with myself pretty much. I had a really interesting dream last night that kind of set me back a little bit in my emotions. It was about someone who I was very close with in the past, and things ended in a very messy, unwanted way on my part, and I think that I have a lot of feelings that are still unprocessed from that. So a lot of the time, I think a lot of people, you can probably relate, is that when I feel stressed out, my stress tends to manifest in my dreams. I think a lot of people experience that. I had a dream about this person. It was really emotional. We made up after everything happened. They hugged me, brought out a lot of emotion. I knew that I was waking up and I felt myself start to cry because I just realized how much I actually miss them. I'm really missing those really close connections that I had in my past because I obviously don't know what's in my future, so it's really hard to stay positive, and it's really hard to be like, yeah, I'm totally gonna find someone in my future, like that's definitely there for me. It's like, well, I don't know that. It's really hard to stay positive when my brain feels like it keeps wanting to go back to the things in the past and holding on to those really positive moments that I had with certain people, wishing that sometimes I didn't act the way I acted, or if I was just a little bit better, or if things just ended a little differently. But you can go around in that circle all day long. I think we tend to hold guilt and shame over the perceivingly bad decisions in our past. They hold us back from growing, genuinely growing, and becoming a better person, and genuinely loving yourself. Holding on to the shame of what you've done or the embarrassing moments that you had are not pushing you towards a better future. They're not making you a better person. They're only making you feel worse about things that you can't change.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy. That hurt.
So instead of holding shame over these things that you did, finding acceptance in the decisions and learning from them and moving on is the better way to process things. Realizing how much easier life would be if I treated myself with more self-love and more grace and respect. Treating myself more like a friend, that's a big part of also moving on from past relationships that I had or past friendships. Giving new people a place in my life instead of having the old people still hold those places. Focusing more on the possibilities and opportunities that I have rather than thinking about what I missed out on. I think a lot of people understand how bad FOMO can be. It really leads a big part of my emotional life, at least, and my relationships with my friends. A lot of us experience FOMO when we see one of our favorite people hanging out with other friends. Becomes, oh, they're gonna like the hang out with that person better, and then not gonna want to hang out with me after they realize how cool this other person is. It's a lot about self-confidence too, and relearning patterns in my brain of lack of emotional permanence, worrying that people don't actually want to hang out, realizing that my friends do miss me, realizing that my friends do want to hang out with me and do enjoy my company. It's just that life gets busy and things happen. It's hard when I automatically assume that it's because they don't want to hang out with me, basically believing that I am more disposable than I actually am. I'm working really hard to get rid of those old patterns and instill more healthy ones. I feel really proud of myself for that. Even after this morning of having a dream that could have put me in a bad mental place, instead I got up, I did yoga, and listened to my audiobook. Shout out, I am currently listening to Touch of Darkness, Hades x Persephone. If you are into that sort of realm of book,
This is haunted!
You will love it, guaranteed. For anyone who might be struggling like me, go outside. Go do something. I know we think it's funny when people say it, and it is hilarious, but to be honest, it really is that damn phone. Ever since I've been off of social media, basically not getting easy dopamine, like scrolling and liking, either reading books or drawing or making videos, using my brain to actually do activities. It's been way better for my mental health. Been comparing myself to people less, caring less about what other people think about me, more processing of my own personal inner monologue rather than having other people influence my internal thoughts. Can be helpful at times with helping us learn and grow, because how we learn is through talking to each other. Learned wisdom is one of my favorite ways of learning. That's why I love talking to people so much and why some of this is so hard sometimes. Being away from all of that, where on media we always make our lives look so much better than they actually are. All of us do it. Doesn't matter who you are. We always want to present our best selves, which is not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but those of us who are struggling, like me, and probably you too, is that it makes us feel like shit. It makes us feel like we're not doing good at all in our lives. I've felt like my life is at a standstill. Circling back around, this dream that I had last night really made me process those feelings of failure. The shame I have over the failures and over the mistakes that I've made. I'm processing. It feeds to the internalization that I'm a bad person. Because I did this thing, I have to be a bad person. Living in the black and white. Low-key, it might be the autism. Everyone else, there's definitely a grayscale for sure. But when it comes to me, it's either good or bad. There's no in between at all. It's either the best or the worst. It's either people love me or they hate me. The in between, the gray, is so hard to process and understand when it comes to relationships, and complex relationships at that. A lot of the time I felt way more secure in a very close, intimate relationship rather than friendships, because friends can just leave. Partners can too. Yes, that's true. More commitment. That's the end of that sentence. I think what I'm really looking for is a best friend. A lot of the traits or qualities that I list off when it comes to looking for in a relationship, the only thing that's different is that physical intimacy, but everything else is the same as having a best friend. Rewiring how I value friendship. Hold on. They're friends again? You're telling me that I can't find friends, but they'll be friends again after everything that happened?
Hey, Gamburger Gabbly.
And learning to find emotional satisfaction in friendships. I've always wanted a romantic relationship. I am a hopeless romantic through and through, and I always will be that way. I love that about myself. That aspect also creates a constant craving for romantic intimacy that isn't always readily available, like right now. I have tried very, very, very hard to make sure that I never go without it. Now I've landed in a spot where I am choosing this time to be by myself. That choice is really important for me to fully be able to be on my own, able to truly process the mistakes that I've made, but also process the things that people have done to me too. Really heal, move on, and become a better person from it. I'm still learning, and I'm still gonna make many, many, many mistakes in my future. But I'm hoping that I can be self-aware enough and willing enough to learn from the mistakes as they come, giving myself the love and compassion that I would give a friend who made a mistake. I'm proud of myself today. I have done a good job. I've done a good job taking care of myself today, and I hope you have too. Make sure to eat good food and drink your water. That's always very important. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All the thoughts and feelings that I wanted to document for today. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope that you related to it, maybe got something out of it today, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.